Hello, welcome back, and thank you so much for tuning in again. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Chantal, and I welcome you to Shanti Bloom. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the challenges that immigrants face that, if not handled properly, can steal their dreams away from them and lead them down that path of living life without purpose. If you're watching me right now and you have ever relocated, maybe from one country to another, a region to another, or even migrating within the same country from one state to another, you would agree with me that relocating can be very exciting as you're looking forward to meeting new people, you're going to carry out new adventures and eventually discover a new you. But relocating means change, and change will always present you with new opportunities and challenges as well. And these challenges can become so overwhelming to the point where it can actually distract you from those new opportunities, or just drown those opportunities altogether. And before you know it, you pack up your dreams into a box and just settle for less. But this should not be the case. The challenges of immigration, migration, relocation should not steal your dreams away from you. It should not make you switch to survival mode. You should be thriving, blooming, and flourishing in your everyday life, even as you're pursuing your purpose in life. And I understand that these challenges would differ from person to person depending on where you're coming from, where you're going to, and the reason for the relocation. But there remain a good number of challenges that are common to most immigrants. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the top 3 challenges that immigrants face and how to overcome. The first and the most common challenge is language barrier. Not being able to effectively communicate can really affect so many aspects of your life. And I'm not exaggerating it. Yes, it can, because as we go through life, we are constantly interacting with others directly or indirectly, sometimes through maybe other forms of written communication. And so when there is a barrier in this interaction, it's not only frustrating, but it can really hold you back from moving forward. And even if you know that language, you may still face some challenges because that language may be used in that other country differently. For example, I am an immigrant from Cameroon, Africa, into the US, and the 2 official languages for my country are English and French. And you would think that living from an English speaking country into another English speaking country, I'm not going to have any issues with language barriers, but I did. I faced vocabulary issues because my Cameroon everyday words were very different from the American everyday words, because of course the lifestyle is different, culture is different, so the words I use every day was very different from the words that they used every day. And so I understood that I had to increase my vocabulary bank. Another thing was that what I struggled with the slang. We all know that the beauty of understanding a language is being able to speak it conversationally, right? You don't want to just be popping out these words isolatedly, like they're just words you're popping out from a dictionary or it's a speech. You want to be able to flow in conversations, and that is why you will see somebody who has maybe language barrier. They can come across at work like maybe timid people. You really don't know much about them, but then when you come and see them in their element around the people that they are able to communicate with, suddenly their personality shines. So language barrier can really hold you back or steal a lot from you. You're unable to really express who you are. And if accent adds to it, that becomes a whole different story. I can't tell you how many times I'll be having a conversation with somebody, and then midway into the conversation, they would respond to something, and then I would realize that I had lost them a long time ago because of something I said and they heard it differently. I equally remember a time my kids had said, "Mommy, you have messed us up when it comes to saying the word pepper." And I was like, they say when they say it, people keep asking them, what do they mean? And I said, no, you guys are the ones who have messed me up, because when I speak with daddy, we speak our Cameroon accent and I'm fine, but when I'm speaking with you guys, suddenly I'm trying to pronounce words in a certain way so that you can understand. Honestly, there was a time that I felt like I walk around my house with a board and a dry erase marker to spell the things that I'm actually saying so that they can understand. So language barrier can really pose a big problem with communication. And this has left a lot of people feeling inadequate and sometimes ashamed that they're unable to understand other people or express themselves, so they feel like they are not really able to shine in the way that they would have or show their true self because that language barrier is keeping them bound. The good thing here is that language is something that can be learned. I understand understand that the older you get, it becomes a little bit more challenging to learn a new language. But if you put your mind to it, if you see the importance of breaking this language barrier and you put your mind to it, you can learn that language. And the first thing for me, I would say, is that interact with the people in that community. Interact with people who speak that native language. You will not only be learning the language, but you will also be learning the culture and understanding the people. In order to effectively communicate, you have to know beyond just the words in that language. You have to understand the people. Another great thing you can do is watch movies in that language with subtitles in your own language. This has also been something very helpful for me. Another thing you could do is get somebody, another body who is learning the language as well. You people would not be ashamed of each other. You can make your mistakes and you will not be ashamed because you both are learning the language. And you can even still get somebody who already knows the language very well, but who understands your journey, who understands the goal that you have in learning that language. So instead of making fun of you, they will be helping you. And what about a dictionary? You cannot be in a country trying to learn a new language and you do not have a dictionary. So please do not sit back and shy away from it. Keep pushing, and before you know it, you are going to break that barrier. The second challenge is culture shock. That overwhelming feeling that you have when you move to a new location and they have different values and different ways of doing things. Suddenly you begin to feel a little bit different. At times you feel lonely, you feel depressed, and you just start to feel homesick. Culture shock has held a lot of people from moving forward because they physically relocate, but their minds are still home. And with that kind of a mindset, it's very difficult to dream, talk less of even pursuing your dream. You will not be able to take time to study that place where you are and to grow. You have to start with a mindset change, accepting that place as your home, at least for the time being. If you're there for studies for 2 years, then you have to prepare your mind and see that new location as home for 2 years. Or if you've moved permanently, then you have to program your mind to see that place as home so that you are able to start dreaming and pursuing new things in that location. It is just like getting into a hotel. If I book a hotel and I get into it, there's no way I'm going to wake up the next morning, go downstairs and start planting flowers. Or if I'm renting, I would not do that. But the moment you buy and own a property, you can start planting a tree that may only grow in another 10 years. It is the same thing. If you accept it, if you kind of deal with the culture shock, I know it is not easy, but when you change your mindset and accept that place as home, it helps you to start looking at things differently and to start dreaming and then take steps towards pursuing that dream. Number 3 is employment, because no matter where you are, you have to work. And when you move away from your country of origin into another country, the problems of employment that people face is that maybe you may not have the qualifications to get a good job, right? And so you end up unemployed, or you may be managing with something that cannot really meet your everyday needs. Another thing is that maybe you did have a good job, in your former country, or you had your credentials, but then you move to this new location and it's not recognized. What happens? It's almost like you're starting again from basic. And another one is that sometimes people have to change their career altogether. You have to just throw everything that you knew, you've experienced, you've acquired, and it's almost like you're having a career change in your 30s, in your 40s. This can really be challenging and overwhelming. My advice is that do not feel too big for little things, and do not feel too little for big things. Do not feel that just because what you had already achieved is no longer recognized, it means that you should box up your dream and you can never achieve that big dream that you had. And at the same time, do not feel too big for little things. I have people who say, I had already achieved this much, there is no way I'm going to go start again from small. And then before you know it, they feel stuck. You have to bring yourself down and know that, if you made that choice to relocate, then you have to start from the base and go up. Understand that this brings a lot of low self-esteem for some people. They feel devalued, but it's just for a moment. If you put your mind to it and believe that, you're not too small for big things, then you will achieve those big things in due season. So these are the top 3 challenges I believe most people face when they relocate. And I would like to ask you, which of these 3 challenges have you experienced if you have relocated from one country to another? And among the 3, which one do you think is the most challenging? There are many more challenges that immigrants face, and we're going to be looking at those challenges in much more details and coming up with those solutions on Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please consider subscribing and keeping your notification bells on so that you'll be notified when we do go live. Thank you so much for watching today, and see you on Saturday.